right, everybody, welcome to Takeoff with John Clark. This is John Clark, and we've got some special guests, and this is a really cool story. Let's bring in former Eagles head coach Doug Pederson and his son, Josh Pederson. How you guys doing?
John, doing really well. You know, I'm just enjoying my time. I'm down here, obviously in South Florida with my wife, and just kind of relaxing right now and seeing what honestly what God has in my future. You know, as far as football goes. But everything's going extremely well right now.
Well, and I got to tell you, you look refreshed. You almost look like when a president leaves office after 4 years.
Well, I'm getting there. You know, I mean, it's obviously being a head coach in the National Football League can be tough. It is tough. It's hard. It's there's you wear a lot of hats, but you know, you sign up for that reason. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed my time. And you know, I'm just hoping that it's not over, obviously. You know, having won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, I feel like I still have some good years ahead of me in that realm. But yeah, just trying to recover, rejuvenate, get fresh, and you know, wrap my head around the next opportunity.
Well, we'll get into a couple Eagles questions and maybe get some closure and get some answers about what happened. But this is such a cool thing that's going on right now. Josh, you're going to have your pro day coming up here at the University of Louisiana Monroe, and your dad went there. I believe he broke some school records. So Josh, how amazing is this that you're following in your father's footsteps here and you're hoping to get drafted?
Hey, John, good to see you again. Yeah, man, I'm super excited. It's been a crazy 5 years, you know, college football. And then I finally, you know, I'm sitting in this chair this day and, you know, have pro day coming up this Thursday. And hopefully I can show out and give them my best and hopefully get drafted.
When was the first time that you kind of looked at your dad and what he did for a living? Because he's got one of the coolest jobs ever. Right. When did you start to look at him and say, you know what, I want to be like my dad?
I think, what were we, sixth grade when we first moved to New Jersey, when he got, you know, the first coaching job with the Eagles. It kind of started then. And, you know, my football dream wasn't even a dream yet. It didn't hit me until my junior year of high school when I started actually playing football again. So I started, you know, back kind of late. But once I saw him and what he accomplished and how quickly he moved up the chain, you know, I was like, dang, you know, you make a great living and then, you know, you get to do a lot of cool things. So it's something that I want to try and do myself.
So who was the better athlete between the two of you at the University of Louisiana Monroe?
Me.
Well, oh yeah. Does it count? We played two different positions. Does that count?
And tight end is usually more athletic, right?
That's right. I'm about to say. There we go.
Usually, I would agree with that. I'd say Josh is probably the better at more. But he's more well-rounded than I am as far as athletic skills go.
And how about for you, Doug, when you see this, are you in a way almost living that period of your life through him? And do you see certain aspects of yourself in your son?
You know, I think about where Josh is right now in his life and his career. And I think back to my days at Louisiana Monroe. And back then it was Northeast Louisiana University when I graduated from there. And, you know, I think about the times where, you know, obviously the football world has changed. It's so advanced now with you know, the opportunities that are in front of these athletes. And you know, I can remember I didn't have a pro day. I had one team come into Monroe, Louisiana and work me out back in, you know, I guess it was 1991, the spring of 1991. And my hopes and dreams, you know, back then the NFL draft, John, was 2 rounds. It was Saturday and Sunday, not 2 rounds, but 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. I think it was 12 rounds. So I went 2 days. I became an undrafted free agent. Went to the Miami Dolphins back then, and so I see Josh kind of going down that same path, and you know, things are kind of coming full circle for him, and it's a great opportunity for him to put his best foot forward and show these teams exactly who he is and what he can do and possibly what he can bring to a team.
And Josh, for you, I think you kind of jumped into football a little later. With what happened with your brother Drew, how much did that motivate you, his injury, and how much did that fire you up to try to get the most out of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Seeing how much after that injury of like how much did he miss being out there on the field and how much the game meant to him. I kind of saw that through his eyes, and I was like, I kind of want to love something as much as he does. So I kind of picked football back up, and my head high school football coach came to me and said, "Hey, come try out. If you like it, play. If not, don't worry about it. Go keep playing golf." But ended up loving it, and here I am today. Have a good opportunity of playing in the NFL.
Have you done some Zoom interviews with some teams?
Yeah, I've done a handful. I just right before this call, I was on a call, so it's been a lot of fun getting to talk to different teams and hearing the interest level that they have, and it maybe not any at all, but just going through the process, and it's been great.
Have you done one with the Eagles?
I have. I've talked with an Eagle scout, and then my agents I think have talked with Howie and Jake Rosenberg for sure.
How cool is that?
Man, I'll go. Like I said, I'll go to any team. It doesn't matter. No hard feelings with the Eagles at all. I want my foot in the door, and make a team no matter which one it is.
What's the best advice your dad has given you over the years and also given you now about this journey you're on?
Man, it's been ongoing ever since my freshman year, since I started playing. It's after every game, it's advice here, advice there. I pick up the phone and I get to call an NFL head coach to give me feedback on my own game. So I've always kind of had an upper hand, and he's always giving me the best advice on what to do on the field and off the field. So it's amazing having him in my corner.
And Doug, how about for you? Because, when you were coaching with the Eagles, Saturdays, that's a big day. Sometimes you're traveling for the road games. How would you catch Josh's games and then have those conversations after those games?
Yeah, you're right. With the home games, it was a lot easier. I could get home in the afternoon and catch it. Whether I'm streaming it through a computer or if he's playing on TV, or now with these smart TVs with all these apps and everything, you can just download and stream the game, right to your TV. And then when I was on the road traveling, I always waited till I got into the hotel, and I had our video guys hook up my iPod or iPad to the TV. And I could stream it right to the TV and watch his game. So my wife and I could watch all of his games throughout his college career. And that was a lot of fun because, for me, I was trying to watch it as a dad, right, as a proud parent, but I was also watching it as a coach and just kind of seeing the X's and O's and the scheme and all of that. And that's I think where I could help Josh, after the game and kind of talk him through some certain things. Maybe we talk a play or two here and there. Talk about his technique and just try to continue to, encourage him through the whole process, not only through college, but obviously now heading into, this draft, coming up this April.
And when did you first kind of get it in your head that, wow, he has a skill set that could play in the NFL and that he could possibly get drafted into the NFL?
Well, and you alluded to it a little bit, earlier, John. He started football a little bit later in his life. It was like his junior year of high school, and then of course he had some talent, and he was one of the better players on the football team at that time, and of course into his senior year, and then he got the scholarship to Louisiana Monroe. But you really start thinking as he started playing, and then he got into his junior season, and he had a lot of success. The team had success. He put up some really good numbers statistically for him individually, but I thought at that time there was a good opportunity that he might get a chance to either be drafted or at least a preferred free agent in the NFL. I really think there's a skill set there that someone would reach out and take hold of. And then of course this past season with him going through that same thing again, just knowing that that's something that's a goal, right? That's something that we were shooting for, and he is shooting for, and he's always had it on his mind. And Josh has always been someone that when he puts his mind to it, he works extremely hard and he's diligent about it. Good things are going to pay off, and that's what we hope for again this spring.
Hey, Josh, when your dad is giving you that great advice, because not too many kids can get advice from a Super Bowl champion coach. So did you ever say, okay, that's my dad talking, and then that's coach talking?
No, absolutely. You get on the phone and, after a loss and you hear dad, and then after a win, you get on the phone with him and it's, all right, this is what you did wrong and this is what you did right. So it kind of goes both ways, but definitely I got more dad most of the time than coach, but he was always in coach mode. That's for sure.
And, one of the coolest things I would see at Eagles games, even before, is Doug would always have his family with him at the games when he could, obviously. So when did you first start to see everything that went on, game days and sometimes practices as well, and say, you know, I want to be a part of that life?
Yeah, right. So when he got hired back with the Eagles as the head coach, that was kind of when we got more, you know, getting to go throughout the stadium, and then on game days and then at practices, he was able to have us out there. You know, seeing that ever since, what was it, 2016, was it?
Yeah.
Every year since then, you know, and me being in college, it was tough for, you know, not being able to be there. But the games I would get to, I get to be there from when the ball was kicked off till afterwards. So just seeing that whole process. And then, like I said, off season, watching them train, watching the players, getting to see the players firsthand, it just kind of clicked in my head that I want to do this. I want to be here in this environment, and this is what I want to do with my life.
Have you, in your mind, you obviously have a dream of being drafted in the NFL, but you see how tough it is, and you saw your dad go undrafted. Do you have, you know, your dream in your mind, but also you're real about everything and that could possibly happen?
Absolutely. I'm fully prepared to be undrafted. You know, there's talk that I could be in one of the later rounds, but I'm fully prepared to be a priority free agent, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of ways to make it into the NFL, and whichever way it happens for me, it doesn't matter as long as I get there.
And Doug, are you kind of acting as a little bit of an agent this year?
I've done my share, you know, phone calls and text messages to people that I know, and you know, and the thing is too, I mean, and Josh is absolutely right. You know, just and it's like me back in, you know, the early 90s. You just want to get your foot in the door. You just want an opportunity because, you know, I knew who I was back then, my work ethic and how I was going to approach the game. And Josh knows his work ethic and how he wants to approach the game. And I've been able to kind of mentor him a little bit on what to expect, not only through this process, but I think the first year, what rookies kind of go through. And you know, our goal and our hope for him as our son we'd love for him to be drafted, obviously. But I think the bigger goal is just, you know, let's get into camp. Let's see what happens. Let's showcase our talent. And that's all you can ask for.
Can you imagine the pride and the special feeling that you would have if you were able to see your son Josh in an NFL camp?
It'd be a dream come true for me, for any of our sons, you know, and not only that, but just to watch him perform and then to be able to follow his career wherever he ends up. And the thing is, you know, again, just getting that opportunity to showcase, right, to get into a rookie. Who knows what the NFL, what this offseason is going to bring, if they're going to have an offseason again, you know, with the pandemic and obviously with the things that are going on. But just get himself into a camp and just compete. And I think that's why it was so valuable for me as not only as the coach of the Eagles, but also as a parent, to have my sons there with me on game day or at practices, you know, OTAs in the spring, so that they could see that, they could experience that. So, you know, one day, if given the opportunity, they know exactly what to expect.
It's pretty good on-the-job training, huh?
Right there on the spot.
So how many Pedersons will be in the NFL in 2021?
Probably just one. Can't tell you which one, but maybe just one.
I love that. That's a good tease. Now, Doug, when you think about it, you talked about having conversations as a dad, and I heard Josh, you know, he could kind of tell which one was talking to him. If you're back in the NFL as a coach, do you think it'd be really hard to coach your son, or do you think it'd be really easy?
Oh, it'd be difficult, you know, to be able to coach, you know, to coach your son. I think it's something I've always thought about. And even I go back to my early days of coaching high school football, you know, and I never really had that opportunity to coach them in high school, but I almost had. It was like right on the doorstep of coaching my oldest son, Drew, in high school before we moved back to Philly when I worked for Coach Reed, you know, as quality control and obviously quarterback coach. But I've thought about that. It would be difficult to coach your son because, you know, you're going to have to coach them all the same. I talk to my coaches all the time about, you know, coach a veteran, coach a rookie, coach them all the same, coach them hard, teach them. They got to get better. You got to take the dad hat off and be coach, because at the end of the day, as you know, John, you got to make your final roster cuts to 53 and then obviously your practice squad players. And that's where it would be difficult if you had to make a decision from, you know, your son versus another player to make that roster. That'd be a hard thing to do.
Yeah, Josh, we asked your dad about how proud he would be. What would it mean to you as a little kid and your dad guiding you through your life to be in the NFL and follow in your dad's footsteps?
It'd be a dream come true. You know, mom sent me some pictures the other day of when he was playing with the Packers and he was holding me and my brothers, you know, in his 18 number jersey. And just to now look that far back and then to look ahead, you know, if I'm standing on a sideline one day, you know, in a uniform and he's right there next to me, you know, taking those same exact pictures, just a few years later, that's going to mean everything to me.
That would be amazing. We wish you the best with that. That would be really amazing. Couple Eagles questions for you, Doug. I think a lot of us are still trying to wrap our head around what happened after the season. Have you found some closure with everything that happened?
You know what, I have, John, and you know, obviously this business is a tough business, and we know that. And you know, I got into coaching way back, even when I got into high school coaching. You know, it's about winning games and winning championships, winning a state championship in high school, or a national championship in college, and obviously a Super Bowl and in the NFL. And you know, for me, you know, I was able to accomplish that in the NFL, and I was able to accomplish that in a great city of Philadelphia, and a place that I played, you know, a place that I worked for in my past, and obviously became a head coach for 5 years. And so from a closure standpoint, I just think about those great times, those great moments I had in the 5 years. And obviously we had a rough season this past year, and things didn't go our way, and the injuries and whatnot. But you know, I don't focus on that. I focus on the good times, the good thing, the people I've met, the relationships that I have, and still hold dear to my heart. And that to me gives me closure on any decision that was made, because I know that I can obviously, you know, hold my head up high, very proud of what I did, you know, in the 5 years in Philadelphia, and obviously bringing that organization and that city a championship.
Jeff Lurie did say that you did not deserve to be let go. So I got to ask you, I mean, do you feel you deserve to be fired?
You know, I would love to have had an opportunity to really kind of fix, you know, the season last year and get things back on track and really, you know, turn that thing around, because I feel like that's something that I could have done. But, you know, and I understand where he's coming from, and obviously the situation, you know, moving forward. And again, I just continue to focus on those positives and think about my time there, and think about, you know, if this were the time, and obviously this was the time for me to leave, well, guess what? I'm going out on a high note. I'm going out on top. I'm going out, you know, as a Super Bowl winning coach in Philadelphia. Hopefully I can, you know, I'll be welcomed back in the city one day and come back, and whether I'm coaching on the other sideline or just coming back to visit, I look forward to those moments.
Did it kind of come down to you basically standing your ground and standing up for coaches that you wanted to have on your staff?
You know, I've done that in you know, my time there, and obviously, you know, I'm going to continue to always stand up for the guys that I want to surround myself with, and you know, try to put my best foot forward. I feel like that's, as a head coach, you know, you should have that opportunity to you know, have the guys around you, because then it's on me, right? And then it's my decision. If it goes south at that point, then that's something I have to live with. And I'm always going to stand up for those guys, whether they're coaches, whether they're players, front office people, you know, because you want to surround yourself with guys that are loyal, guys that are, you know, going to have your back, and guys that are going to, you know, stand up for you, because I'm going to stand up for every one of those players in that locker room, which I did for 5 years. And obviously my coaches are the same.
So when you guys won the Super Bowl 3 years ago, and that party and everything, if I were to say that 3 years later, just 3 years later, you, Nick Foles, Carson Wentz would all not be with the Eagles anymore, I mean, you would probably tell me that I was crazy, and it would be shocking, right?
Yeah, I would have said that 3 years ago, you know, coming off a Super Bowl win, and then obviously in 18 and 19, a couple of playoff appearances, you know, you'd say, you'd have at least another couple of years left, you know, and try to do it again, try to turn things around. But again, you know, John, it's behind me now. It's sort of water under the bridge. I have moved on from it. I'm looking forward to the next opportunity. in my coaching career. I'm excited about Josh and this spring for him and supporting him. We're going to be at his pro day this week and just want to see some great things, through him. I've had such an outpouring of love and support and congratulations that's what keeps me going. That's what allows me to kind of have that closure that you asked me about from the fans and from, even people from around the league that have reached out, and that outpouring, it just goes to show that, for the last 5 years, we did things right. And, I'm going to continue to do that, believe in the things that I want to believe in, and hopefully I get an opportunity to do that in the future.
2 final quick questions about the Eagles, and then I'll wrap it up with some Super Bowl memories with you and your family there. Is there anything you want to clear up about what happened with you and Carson Wentz? There were reports that you guys didn't speak for a couple months and things like that. Is there anything you want to clear up?
The only thing I will say, I understand where Carson's coming from, because it's difficult when you're the starter and things like this happen, and you basically, you get benched, and obviously, our season wasn't going the way we wanted it to go, and it's difficult. It's difficult for any player to go through that. I did it with Nelson Aguilar, my first year. Obviously different position and all that, but but you got to have the conversations. You got to have the open door policy, and you got to communicate. And felt like we did that. And I do believe that there's a little misnomer out there where Carson and I were on such a, bad terms. And I've never felt that way. I've always, felt like I was going to do the right thing, for the Philadelphia Eagles, but yet I understand, what he was feeling and what he was going through. I know there was frustration there. So I still have a lot of respect, and we drafted him, 5 years ago to be the guy, and I'm excited to see what he does with the Colts now. And he has a fresh start too. I think that's something that players go through in their careers. They get opportunities to go other places, whether it's through, free agency, whether it's through trades. You get cut one place, you get picked up another. It's another opportunity. And I know that's what he's looking forward to. And I'm excited to watch his career moving forward.
And final question about the Eagles, Jalen Hurts. He only had 4 games to start, but he is going to be QB1 now here in Philly. So do you think he can be the guy here with the Eagles?
I think he can. He's got such a great, a lot like Carson, he's got such a great leadership style. Guys really gravitate to him. His work ethic is second to none. I think the coaching staff can, if they're patient with him and really teach and dial things in for him and really tailor the offense around his skill set, he's going to have success. He's a proven winner. He's been a proven winner, obviously, in college and at a couple of places that he's been. And I know he can do that in the National Football League. He's young, but yet he's eager. He's going to outwork everybody on the football team. That's just who he is. And so again, he's another young player for the Eagles that I'll follow his career but I think he'll have some success there.
And the NFL comes at you fast. It's a crazy business. So what if the Eagles were to draft or bring in your son, Josh?
I would tell Josh to get in Jalen Hurts' ear, get into his pockets, get into everything he knows about Jalen Hurts and start throwing and catching and doing everything he can. And that'd be a great opportunity. They've had a great run there of tight ends, and Zach Ertz is one of the best in the National Football League. Dallas Goedert, I know Rich Rod is there, and we've had success with tight ends, and I'd be excited for Josh wherever he ends up. But if he were back in Philly, that'd be a great opportunity, great spot for him.
And Josh, for you, did you get a chance to kind of pick the brains of Zach Ertz and Dallas Goedert and Richard Rodgers and kind of learn from them a little bit or watch them?
Yeah, definitely. They more watching than kind of picking their brain, just kind of left them alone. NFL pro athletes, just kind of let them do their thing. But watch them at every practice. My older brother would be with the QBs, and I would go straight to the tight ends, just watching their technique and their skill sets. They're incredible. Like he said, the best tight ends, some of the best in the league. So it's great to have them with the Eagles.
One of the great things, as I said, was seeing you guys as a family at the Eagles game. So Take me back to Super Bowl weekend and that whole week, and what that moment was like for you as a family. I'll start with you, Josh, seeing all of you up there on the podium getting the Lombardi trophy, and just your thoughts about your dad accomplishing that.
Yeah, another thing, a great opportunity. That we were obviously that Super Bowl Sunday, we got to stand on the sideline the entire game. So incredible opportunity, getting to see everything, the play calling to just every quarter, throughout the whole game. But the whole weekend, I kind of got there Friday a little bit later, so it kind of hit me like a whirlwind. It was a quick turnaround weekend, but getting to fly home with the Super Bowl trophy it's one of the coolest things in the world. Flying from Minnesota back to Philly, holding that trophy, it's pretty special. And to watch my own dad do it, it makes it that much better, because knowing I get to go home and that a Super Bowl winning coach, I live in his house and he provides for me, so it's pretty cool to tell people that that's my dad.
Doug, what was that moment like for you with your family and the parade and everything?
It's hard to put words, into it. Obviously, again, as I mentioned earlier, you get into this business to win championships, right? Whether you're a player or a coach, and I had an opportunity, obviously, in Philadelphia to do it, but to have it where our two oldest sons, Drew and Josh, were on the sideline. Our youngest son didn't like to be on the sideline because he couldn't see, so he always sat with my wife. So they were up in the box, up in a suite, with my agent and his wife during the game, but just having them on the sideline, and then I still have, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up on your screen here, but I have a screensaver that is from Super Bowl after. It's a selfie that Josh took on the field with the entire family, and then our oldest son's fiance is in there in that picture too. But I'll never take that off of my phone, because those moments, you never get those moments back, and it's so special to have your family down there and standing on the podium with you. And my mom was there, and then like Josh said, to come home the next morning, you're flying back I still pinch myself when I think about flying home, and I'm got the world championship, Super Bowl, Lombardi trophy in my hands, and we park the plane, and all the people that are at the airport, just at the airport when we get back, and then we take the buses back to NovaCare that day, and all the people that are like packed into NovaCare, and I mean it was just, and then of course the parade later on that week. I mean, just a surreal moment for the fans, for the city, for that region of the country who are Eagles fans. I'll never forget it. Never forget it. And I love watching highlights. I love watching, videos of the parade or, clips of the game. It never gets old. And, it's just something that I'm very, very proud of, obviously, but to have my family there is very special.
And Josh, when you're there on the sideline and you see that they're running Philly special, I mean, one of the gutsiest calls, if not the gutsiest call in Super Bowl history. What's going on inside of you when you see that they're going for one of the wildest play calls in Super Bowl history?
So my dad's assistant, Nick Williams, was wearing the headset, so he gets all the play calls, and that's kind of who I stand by. And he looks at us kind of wide-eyed, and he's like, "Oh my goodness, they just call." They ran it in practice and they've gone over it, but they wouldn't believe that they would call it in a game. But Nick kind of looks at us like wide-eyed, and he goes, "Oh my goodness, just watch." And sure enough, it came out to be that play, and the play that'll live on in history forever. But it was so crazy to see the whole thing happen.
Well, this has been great having you guys on here, and you get a sense just how much love is in your family. And wish you the best, Josh. I mean, this would be amazing if you can be in an NFL camp, no matter how you get there, competing for a job. So, best wishes to you and in your journey here.
Thank you so much. We're going to miss y'all in Philly, that's for sure. And hopefully, one day either play in that city or play for them. So thanks again for having us, and appreciate it.
Yeah, you got it. And Doug, maybe we see you back in the NFL in 2022, or are you going to be on the golf tour?
Hopefully my chances in the NFL are a lot better than on the golf tour. But yeah, I'm in a good place right now, and I'm excited for my next chapter, and hopefully I'm on the sidelines again, in a year, and I still want to stay, in touch with the game. Hopefully I get a chance to go maybe visit some camps during August, and just kind of stay around the game, and look forward to being on the sideline and doing it again.
Yeah, we might just see you at some NFL stadiums in 2021.
You might see me later on this year. That's correct.
Well, great. Thank you so much for the time. We really appreciate it. And best wishes to both of you.
Thank you, John. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having our son. And Josh, good luck this spring.
Thank you. It's going to be some hard work, but thank you. Thanks again, John.
I'm the greatest. Oh, mom, so flagrant.